July 12, 2016. Springfield, Missouri. It was just after 3 a.m. when 911 received the first call. A woman screaming. Blood. Gunshots. Then silence. Officers arrived at the quiet suburban home on Forest Hill Drive. What they found inside. A massacre. 3 bodies. All members of the same family, the Wallaces. Mom, dad, teenage son. All shot execution style. No signs of forced entry. No signs of struggle. And yet, no fingerprints. No murder weapon. No motive. Just blood. Everywhere did I in the hallway. Hiding in a linen closet. They found her. Maya Wallace, 19 years old. Daughter. Sister. Survivor. Covered in blood. Shaking. Barely able to speak. She whispered, "It was my brother, AJ." But AJ Wallace, her 17-year-old brother, was dead. One of the victims. Detectives asked again. Maya repeated it. It was AJ. He killed them. Then he turned the gun on himself. It made sense. Sort of. Except there was one problem. AJ had no gunshot residue on his hands. The media ran wild. Teen turns killer in midnight family slaughter. Springfield bloodbath. The Sun did it. But behind closed doors, investigators were puzzled. AJ's fingerprints weren't on the weapon. There was no blood spatter on his clothes consistent with a shooter. His wounds didn't look self-inflicted. Even stranger. The gun was found in the living room. AJ was found in his bedroom. The pressure was mounting. The town wanted answers. And Maya, the grieving sister, became the face of tragedy. She did interviews, cried on cue, told the same story over and over. But Detective Reynolds noticed something. In her third interview, she slipped. She said, "I tried to stop him, he wouldn't listen." But before, she said she never saw the shooting. She claimed she was hiding the whole time. That one sentence changed everything. Investigators reopened every inch of the crime scene. They found something chilling. A trail of bloody footprints leading from the parents' bedroom to AJ's room, then to the laundry, then the linen closet, where Maya was hiding. They tested the prints. Size 7 women's, not AJ's. A neighbor came forward, said she saw Maya burning clothes in the backyard 2 days after the murders. Maya told police it was old laundry, but forensic teams dug up the ashes, found metal shirt buttons, charred denim, blood traces. It wasn't laundry, it was evidence. Then came the biggest break. A friend from Maya's college showed investigators a text sent the night before the murders. It read, "I can't take it anymore. They're going to ruin everything." The state charged Maya Wallace with triple homicide, said she killed her family in cold blood. Motive? Inheritance and control. She just found out her parents planned to cut her off financially, wanted to send her to a psychiatric facility after a violent outburst on campus. Maya was furious. Her solution? Eliminate them. But the defense had a twist of their own. They claimed Maya had dissociative identity disorder. And get this, they said she didn't even know she did it, that it was her alternate personality who pulled the trigger. And the jury? They bought it. Maya Wallace was found not guilty by reason of insanity. She was committed to a state mental institution. No prison. No sentencing. No justice? For months later, a nurse at the institution made a discovery. Maya had a hidden phone. She'd been using it to message someone on the outside. The messages? "Next time I won't leave a witness. Still think they deserved it. Can't wait to finish what I started." Investigators retrieved the full chat history, and there it was, a second target. One she'd missed the first time. Her cousin, Jasmine Wallace. Police rushed to Jasmine's apartment. They found her unconscious, but alive. On her nightstand, a syringe, half-empty wine glass, and a note that read, "Maya said this would help me sleep." But Jasmine wasn't suicidal. She was scared. She'd gone to the police the week before, saying, "Maya's sending me threats." She said, "I'm next," and nobody believed her. Until now. Maya Wallace, the only surviving member of her family after a brutal massacre, had been found not guilty by reason of insanity. But then, a nurse found a hidden phone, and the texts, chilling. Next time I won't leave a witness. Still think they deserved it. Can't wait to finish what I started. Then her cousin, Jasmine Wallace, was found unconscious in her apartment. Syringe on the nightstand, poison in her system. And the note? Maya said this would help me sleep. Jasmine survived. Barely. The poison? Barbiturates. Administered through wine. Laced. Timed. Premeditated. Detectives rushed to interview her once she regained consciousness. And what she said changed everything. Jasmine didn't just implicate Maya. She whispered one name, Lena. Detectives paused. Lena who? Jasmine looked confused. You don't know? Lena's her sister. Except, Maya Wallace didn't have a sister. At least not legally. Not on paper. Not in any file, record, or family photo. Until they looked deeper and found the secret the Wallaces buried years ago. 22 years ago, before Maya was even born, the Wallaces had another daughter. Her name? Lena Mayfield. Different last name. Different father. Same mother. She was born during an affair that Mrs. Wallace had while her husband was deployed. They kept Lena hidden. Sent her to live with distant relatives. Cut off contact when she turned 12. The official story? She ran away. Was never found. But that wasn't true. She didn't run away. She was taken. By the Wallaces themselves. Sent to a psychiatric group home in Kansas after exhibiting dangerous behavior. And guess who visited her every month for 2 years straight? Maya Wallace. Turns out Maya and Lena weren't just half-sisters. They were close. Very close. Roommates at one point. Online aliases. Intertwined. They shared one thing above all else. Hatred for the Wallace family. Lena had been discarded. Maya had been controlled. And both of them wanted revenge. Investigators pulled phone records. That hidden phone Maya had in the institution? It had ping towers nowhere near the facility just days before Jasmine was poisoned. And the person caught on CCTV buying wine and pills at a CVS nearby. Lena Mayfield. Alive. Free. And very much involved. Suddenly, the pieces clicked. The Springfield Slaughter wasn't a solo act. It was a two-woman operation. Maya stayed in the closet. Lena did the shooting. Together, they staged the scene to frame their brother AJ. But why kill Jasmine? Because she knew. She'd seen Lena once, briefly, at a gas station weeks before the murders, and told the family. That's when the plan changed. Jasmine had to go. Now it was a race against time. Lena was out there, a verified sociopath. No fixed address, no job, no trail. Until they got a hit. A car abandoned on a dirt road just outside Wichita, Kansas. Inside, a journal, crammed with disturbing entries. Scrawled phrases like, "They never wanted us. Maya's the key. I'm the fire. One more to go." One more? Who? Inside the journal, detectives found a name. One not previously connected to the case. Dr. Renata Kessler. She was the psychiatrist who oversaw Maya and Lena's therapy when they were teens. She'd recommended Maya be institutionalized. And she'd helped the Wallace parents cut contact with Lena. The girls never forgave her. Detectives raced to warn her. But they were too late. Her clinic was already in flames. They pulled her from the wreckage. Alive, but badly burned. As paramedics loaded her into the ambulance, she whispered. There were 2 of them. She'd seen them, Maya and Lena, both wearing black, both watching, smiling. Back at the institution, chaos. Maya Wallace? Gone. She'd faked a seizure during lunch. In the confusion, she slipped out of the infirmary, switched clothes with a staff member, walked right out the front door. Security didn't notice for 6 hours. By then, she and Lena had vanished. Together, again. Then came the footage. A TikTok video, posted by a random hiker. A woman in a hoodie, dirty, frantic, sprinting through the woods. The comment? Saw this girl near Devil's Peak. Gave me the creeps. Detectives zoomed in. Confirmed. It was Maya. And behind her, another figure. Faint. Barely visible. But the height, the gait, Lena. They were heading into the Devil's Peak wilderness. Over 80 square miles of caves, woods, and abandoned cabins. 3 days into the search, detectives found a burner phone buried beneath a cairn. Inside, a single video, Maya, filming herself, breathing hard, eyes wild. She says, "You thought this was about revenge. It's not. It's about justice. For all the ones they threw away. You never asked why we really did it. You just assumed we were crazy." She pauses, smiles. Then, "But what if we were just cleaning house?" The screen goes black. One final text follows. "This isn't the end. It's just the opening act." Inside a remote cabin, investigators find an old tape recorder. They press play. It's Lena's voice. "We gave you a chance. You let the monsters win." Then silence. Then Maya's voice whispers, "Now the reckoning begins." 2 weeks later, a U.S. forest ranger discovered something strange in the Devil's Peak wilderness. A trail of handmade markers, red string, clipped photos, thumbtacks on trees. It led to an abandoned cabin, barely standing. Inside, a map carved directly into the wall. No paper, no ink, just knife scratches. Each marking, a name, a location, and at the center of it all, circled in blood-red paint, Genesis. FBI profilers were called in. They believed the sisters weren't just hiding. They were planning, strategically, carefully. Genesis wasn't a location. It was a code. They searched the database for anything matching Genesis and came up dry, until one rookie analyst found it, buried in a sealed civil lawsuit from 2010. Genesis House for Girls, a now-defunct behavioral reform school, privately run, shut down for abuse allegations. Guess who used to be students there? Maya and Lena. Investigators tracked down other girls from Genesis House. The stories? Horrifying. Isolation rooms, forced labor, drug sedation, and worse. One survivor, Clarice, now 29, said, "They broke us. They didn't teach discipline, they taught fear." She paused, then added, "Lena, she loved it. She thrived there, said it made her strong. And Maya? She was different, quiet, scared. But Lena protected her. So when the school was shut down, the girls were scattered. But Lena never forgot. She once told Clarice, 'One day we'll make them pay.'" Back at the FBI, they finally deciphered the wall map. It wasn't just places. It was a target. Names matched up with staff from Genesis House. Ward, doctors, administrators. One of them, Harlan Crane, former school director, was found dead in his farmhouse. Nails through his hands, mouth sewn shut. A note left behind. "You taught us pain. Now you'll learn it." Same red paint, same handwriting. Maya and Lena had begun their war. But then, something nobody expected. A break-in at the FBI's secure evidence locker. No forced entry. No alarms triggered. Only one thing is missing: Maya's journal. That meant someone inside was helping them. And it wasn't just anyone. Security footage revealed the culprit. Agent Elise Monroe, a well-respected profiler, caught on camera handing off the journal to an unknown woman in a parking garage. Who? Lena Mayfield, wearing a blonde wig and nurse scrubs. When they arrested Agent Monroe, she confessed immediately. But what she said left agents speechless. "They're not wrong." She claimed she, too, had been a survivor of abuse at a similar reform school. She found Maya's case, read her file, saw herself in it. Then Lena contacted her, told her about Genesis. Monroe didn't report it. She joined them. "You think they're serial killers," she said, "but they're justice. For all of us." Every lead now pointed to one final location: an abandoned psychiatric hospital in upstate Missouri, formerly known as St. Dimphna's Home for Troubled Girls. New name? Spray painted in red across the front gates. Inside, police found chains, restraints, burned files, and evidence the sisters had been living there for months. It wasn't just a hideout. It was headquarters. They weren't running anymore. They were recruiting. Hidden in the basement, investigators found a hard drive. Encrypted, but when cracked, it opened a forum. Dozens of usernames, encrypted messages. And they weren't just from Maya and Lena. Other users posted, "Target acquired. The reckoning spreads. Reform the reformers." It wasn't two killers anymore. It was a movement. That night, a video hit YouTube, Twitter, and TikTok simultaneously. Maya, seated in front of a flickering candle. "You thought this was a one-time thing. It's not. You buried us, hurt us, broke us. But we're still here, and we remember everything." Then Lena walks into frame, smiles. "This isn't revenge. It's revolution." The final frame? A list of 14 names, including judges, doctors, politicians, all tied to juvenile institutions. Law enforcement raced to protect the people on the list. But within 48 hours, 5 were already dead. All in different states, different methods. Same signature. A red G drawn somewhere near the body. One found hanging in her garden shed. Another in a burning car. One drowned in his own bathtub with a note in his mouth. "You baptized us in fear. We return the favor." One final twist shattered everything. In Lena's old psychiatric records, sealed until now, there was a note, written by Dr. Kessler years earlier. It read, "Lena has formed a bond with Maya so strong, it borders on dangerous. They share secrets. They've created their own language. And one chilling pact. That pact? To outlive everyone who hurt the forgotten girls. A blood oath. But wait, there was one more revelation. One that turned the case upside down. It came from an anonymous tip, sent directly to a news station. A video, grainy, night vision, a hidden camera, in the Wallace family home months before the murders. It shows Maya's father yelling, threatening, dragging Maya down the hall. In the background, Lena, silent, watching, and recording taped to a park bench in Denver, Colorado. Written in Maya's handwriting, "You called us monsters, but monsters are made, not born." Then underneath in red, "We're not done." After weeks of silence, the nation exhaled. No more red GS, no more encrypted videos, no more Maya Wallace, or so they thought. Authorities had spent 3 months attempting to dismantle the second Genesis, the decentralized, cult-like network believed to have grown out of Maya and Lena's twisted revenge campaign. Over 40 arrests had been made, dozens of shelters and reform facilities were investigated, and several staff members were federally charged. But Maya and Lena? Still missing, until April 4th arrived. At exactly 12 a.m., something unexpected happened. Not an explosion. Not another body. A single video was uploaded to YouTube, TikTok, and a dozen anonymous streaming platforms simultaneously. It was titled, "Trial of the Forgotten Girls." It was broadcast live, and what it revealed stunned even seasoned investigators. The video began with Maya Wallace sitting alone in a crumbling courtroom. No branding, no captions, just her voice. "You wanted answers. We're giving you evidence." Behind her stood Lena Mayfield, arms crossed, flanked by 4 masked women and 1 man, later identified as former victims of various youth institutions. They weren't just telling their story, they were building a case. For nearly 2 hours, the video showed covert recordings from inside Genesis House, smuggled psychological evaluations, financial records proving profit incentives behind excessive juvenile sentencing, interviews with other survivors who spoke of years of torture, isolation, and experimentation. One whistleblower described being sedated for over 300 days straight. Another detail being forced into labor in exchange for shorter sentences that were extended anyway. Each testimony is more harrowing than the last, and all of it, according to investigators, authentic. Near the end of the video, Lena stepped into frame. No disguise, no remorse. She stared into the camera and said, "This was never about our family. This was about every family that lost a child to the system. The reckoning isn't over. It's only changed form. Maya added, "Justice didn't fail us, created us." Then she lit a match. The camera panned as the courtroom behind them ignited in flames. The video ended. No screams, no chaos, just silence. Within minutes, law enforcement teams descended on the location embedded in the stream's metadata, an abandoned federal courthouse in rural Iowa. When they arrived, it was burning, fully engulfed, nothing to save. But inside the ashes, a discovery chilled everyone on site. No bodies, no DNA, no remains. Only one thing survived: a marble judge's bench, scorched but intact, etched crudely into its front in blackened soot. "We are not done." Pinned beneath the judge's gavel was a piece of notebook paper, slightly charred around the edges. Written in Maya's handwriting, "You called us monsters, but monsters don't create movements. They burn alone. We lit a match. You fed the fire." In the days that followed, a forensic team uncovered something even more disturbing. The courthouse fire? Deliberate, yes, but controlled. Emergency exit doors had been left unlocked. Security cameras had been disabled in advance. It was a staged disappearance. And the real kicker? Surveillance footage from a gas station 15 miles away showed two women, matching Maya and Lena's description, boarding a train 5 hours before the fire. They were carrying nothing, just a small black duffel bag and a red candle. On April 6th, a QR code sticker appeared on the front doors of 5 courthouses in 5 separate states. Scanning it led to a site. A single phrase hovered on screen: Phase 4, for the ones still inside. Below it, a countdown timer. 30 days. No explanation. Federal authorities believe the next wave could target active juvenile facilities still operating under sealed litigation. Or worse, lawmakers. In a joint press conference, Director Leon Burrows of the FBI's Violent Crime Division stated, "This is not the work of a rogue vigilante anymore. This is an ideology. We are dealing with a decentralized insurgency motivated by historic abuse. And it's spreading." But when asked if Maya Wallace and Lena Mayfield were presumed alive, Director Burrows paused, then said, "Yes, and they're not finished." 10 days later, in Denver, Colorado, a park security officer found a laminated sheet of paper taped to a bench. Same park, same bench where Maya's last note was found a year earlier. This one was signed only with a red G. It read, "You wanted our silence. We gave you a story instead. And if you're reading this, you're part of it now." Springfield Slaughter is no longer a case. It's a movement, and the reckoning isn't over.